Now with the corner, Dode has an idea to put in this nice corner all the way round, but it's whether we take the risk and do that, because what we might want to do.
The location here with amazing views onto the Pentlands and Arthur's Seat in the distance, how does this compare for you to see the work in a very different location compared to Castle, and knowing that it's going to be going onto the Hague? How does that feed into the work for you?
I had originally intended it for an audience in the United States, and after trying for quite a while unsuccessfully to find a venue for it in the U.S., the opportunity to do it at Documenta in Germany came up, and I thought, well, you know, why not? Let's try it. And it's been really exciting and interesting to see how effective and how, you know, I mean, different from my original thoughts about it, but how effective it is at generating conversations. This is a different country from Germany and from the U.S., so, you know, I'm curious to see the response from people here in the UK who see it in this context. The criteria then for sort of expanding the piece was sort of to pick more iconic, well-known executions from US history, as well as ones that were had some significance in terms of the issue of both hanging and you know, the last public execution in the U.S., for instance, was in 1936, and which to me touched on a really important aspect of U.S. history that we don't like to acknowledge, which is the history of lynching. Then I worked with an architect to scale them and make plans for each one of them, and then the idea was to put everything together, but I didn't know how to do that, so I made a lot of different versions, and we made little models of all these different versions, and you know, through that process kind of realized that spreading them all out, at one point they were sort of all stacked into this tower, and you know, might be an interesting configuration, particularly in psychoanalytic terms, but you wouldn't have the opportunity of coming up on and interacting with it in the same way. Maybe you're not sure quite what it is, but it looks interesting, it looks playful, it's something that kids might think of as a big, yeah, jungle gym kind of thing. And I think that line between childhood and playfulness and you know, the final moments of life, as it were. Well, of course, this should be something that you come up on. I mean, this would be the whole point of it, really, you know. You don't usually get to stand on top of an artwork and have a conversation, which is kind of nice, to have that physical interaction. So, yeah, I work slowly. It sometimes takes years to figure these things out, you know. Here, where you've sort of put it up on the hill, so it's sort of silhouetted, it becomes, I think, very cinematic. It reminds me of like you know, a Western movie where you see the gallows up on the hill, or even, we were talking earlier even about the crucifixion, which, you know, our you know, most famous one, where it's always in the movies up on a hill, and they're sort of silhouetted against the sky. And